church. I didn't grab Pastor Harold's tripod, so we're going to do this my way, and we're going to see how it goes, and we're going to pray for the best. But here's Pastor Harold's video.
When I was just a child, I watched my mother as she smiled, and I could see that she was proud of me. Not for only what I'd done, or all the things I would become, not the things I would grow up to be. She loved me just for who I was, not when or if, was just because I was her kid, her love was guaranteed. Oh, and on my mom I could depend. She was my greatest fan, my friend, and it's still true from then till now and until the end. Oh, I wanna sing a song for you, for all the things you've done to get me through. And though you have a day, I want the world to hear and see that every day is Mother's Day to me. Through childhood days to teenage years, you were right there to wipe my tears. Cuts and scrapes were covered up in love. And if I was under attack, you were right there, you had my back. I swear you were sent straight from up above. You were right there to cheer me on, and took the time to teach me right from wrong, and brush away all of my little fears. Oh, and even when we disagree, you still work hard to help me see that everything is not as it appears. Oh, I wanna sing a song for you, for all the things you've done to get me through. And though you have a day, I want the world to hear and see that every day is Mother's Day to me. Yeah, I wanna sing a song for you, for all the things you've done to get me through. And though you have a day, I want the world to hear and see that every day is Mother's Day to me. Yeah, every day is Mother's Day to me.
Happy Mother's Day. So, when Pastor Harold asked for me to do a Mother's Day sermon, I was very hesitant. And I was very hesitant because Mother's Day is complicated. And I wish that every child and mother had a relationship like in his video. That would be awesome. But unfortunately, I'm abundantly aware that not every child is so blessed as to have that relationship, and not every child is so blessed, nor is every mother so blessed. And if that were the case, we wouldn't have the tremendous need for foster care right here in the tri-state area. Motherhood isn't determined by biology. It's a choice. And I was really glad to hear Martha and Brenda talking about church moms, because it is a choice, and I would love it if every child and every mom had the relationship like what you see in the video. Some of us were very blessed. I was blessed to have a mother, like that. However, the reality is, for some, there's a state of grace, which, like right now, my family's in with my little people, and they're drawing pictures and bringing you cups of coffee, and they're so eager to please, and it's a state of grace. It's a blessing. It's in this moment in time. But there have been Mother's Days that that have not, where it's been a season of shadow, whether, and you may or may not be going through those right now. Maybe you've lost a mother, or maybe you aren't speaking with a child, or maybe you've lost a child, or perhaps you don't know, maybe you don't know if this is going to be your last Mother's Day, and so there are seasons to this holiday, this Mother's Day celebration, and so for some, this day is a day they'd rather stay in bed and pull the covers over their head, and for others it is a day of celebration, and yet we can celebrate because you aren't alone. Whether you're in a state of grace or a season of shadow, God is here, and we know this from God's chosen mothers of the Bible, and hopefully today we want you to know that you aren't alone, and that you can look to these women and see biblically what we're called to do. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. It doesn't say if you're perfect, if your house is clean enough, if you've done... Mothers are really hard on themselves. And God says God works for the good of those who love Him. So you don't have to be perfect, Mom. So let's go on ahead and take that off your shoulders right now. And because this is a hard topic for me, and we're going to make, and I don't want to make sure I don't cry, we're going to play a game. We're going to play Name That Mom. And I hope you have fun with it. So the very first Name That Mom, known as the mother of mankind, she was the very first mother. Everyone, answer is Eve. Let's think about Eve. Satan came after Eve in that garden when she was alone. He didn't come after her when Adam was with her. He didn't come after her when, God was talking to her. Satan came after her when she was all alone in that garden. And that's what Satan does. That's when he attacks us. And when he causes us to doubt that which we know. Satan's sneaky. And Eve's been paying the price for eating that apple for centuries now. And she paid that price in her lifetime, because let's look at it. She had these two boys. And they fought. And Eve's two sons are involved in the very first homicide. And she's the very first mother to have to bury her child. You aren't alone. I will not sacrifice to the Lord my God that which costs me nothing. I'm not going to make you name this one, but it's the Zarephath widow. She had no bread. She literally says, my son, I'm taking this home to my son, and we're going to eat this and we're going to die. She had literally nothing left to give. And she gave it anyway. Because it's in giving that we receive. And that's called blind faith. She trusted that God would find a way. And sometimes we have to do that, because sometimes our tanks are empty and we don't have anything to go on. Blind faith. Named that mom, brought her son a coat every year, prayed to God for her son, and then gave him back to him. Starts with an H. Answer is Hannah. Hannah is the mother of Samuel the prophet. Her husband had another wife who taunted her because Hannah could not have kids. And Hannah went to the temple. And her husband didn't really exactly understand, because he said, aren't I enough for you? And Hannah just was devastated. And so she went to the temple, and she's praying so hard that the priest thinks she's intoxicated. And she's just, no, I want this baby. And God heard her prayer, and He gave her a baby. And she kept her promise to God. She gave him back to God. She took him to the temple as soon as he was weaned. And I can't imagine how hard that must have been when she wanted a child that desperately, to keep her promise to God, but she does. And in return, God blesses her with 5 more children. Name that mom. Replied to Jesus, but even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from the table. The Canaanite woman. Never give up. We don't know what God's plans are. Surprises are around every corner. Jesus had been preaching in Jewish territory to get people to believe that he was Messiah, and as soon as he leaves, he's in Gentile land. And this woman knows he's Messiah, so much so that she believes so much that he can heal her child. And she wasn't of his faith. But she knew God when she saw him, and she believed, and she begged him, never give up. Never give up. No matter where your child or your mother, whatever your family situation is, never give up on it. The Canaanite woman didn't. You aren't alone. Name that mom. Mother of Boaz. This is probably my favorite because I wasn't aware of this. Mother of Boaz is Rahab, the harlot who saved Joshua's spies at Jericho. Rahab married, didn't become a concubine of, but Rahab married Salmon, one of the two spies she hid. And they have Boaz together. God's grace redeems all. She had the right heart at the right time with the right action, and he redeemed her. God's grace redeems us all. You are not alone. It doesn't matter what your past is. It matters what you do now.